The workplace bullying dynamic is by definition a problem with attachment. Workplace bullies have an insecure attachment style, and if you are a target of workplace bullying, you probably do too. Most people do. There are only 4 attachment styles, and 3 of them are insecure. The 4 attachment styles are secure, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized. Avoidant can also be called dismissive. Anxious can also be called preoccupied, and disorganized can also be called fearful avoidant. Workplace bullies have an anxious attachment style. Studies show that bullies come from anxiety-inducing homes. The anxiety that workplace bullies feel in the physical presence of the target alone is tangible. It's palpable. A lot of workplace bullying behaviors are simply a way for workplace bullies to vent the anxiety that they feel in your presence for whatever reason. The anxiouses do not trust anyone. They are half glass empty people who believe that everyone is always up to no good. That's why they do all of this hyper obsessive stalking and monitoring. They're control freaks. If you are a target of workplace bullying, you may be disorganized or avoidant. The disorganized are the result of childhood trauma or abuse, and they are fear-based. They don't trust people either. Disorganized can actually be quite creative and funny. The prevalence of disorganized in the arts is actually quite high, and there is significant overlap with borderline personality disorder. If you have a disorganized attachment style, your partners probably call you fun in the beginning. You're fun. This is the crazy in the head, crazy in the bed type. Then when it turns out that you are actually a human being with needs and feelings, suddenly you're drama and crazy. If you have an avoidant attachment style, you may not necessarily have been abused, but you may have grown up in an environment with very low EQ, no healthy expression of emotion, and no real emotional support from primary caregivers. In romantic relationships, I'm disorganized, and in the workplace, I'm avoidant, which makes perfect sense given my upbringing. I was raised by a narcissistically and alcoholically abusive mother, so I dated my mother, and though I have a good father, he was emotionally absent. And he was also my primary role model for work because my mother did not work. So I'm avoidant in the workplace. If you have an avoidant attachment style, you are the I'm not here to make friends employee. Personally, I think the avoidants make the ideal employee. You are incredibly independent and resourceful. You like to do research and figure stuff out on your own. You don't need babysitting, hand-holding, or even training. And you don't need external validation. You do the work, collect your paycheck, and go home. You don't drag all of your emotional horseshit into the workplace. If I were an employer, that is exactly the kind of employee that I would want, but that is not at all what these people want. They are codependents who need to be needed. These days, the job ads are full of nonsense about how they want someone who's independent and a self-starter, but they totally don't. Your independence, especially your emotional independence, only fills these people with narcissistic rage. When you are self-sufficient, you render the narcissist insignificant, and that is every narcissist's greatest fear. When you don't need insecure people, they misinterpret your independence. They think you don't like them, and they take it personally. If you wanted to change your attachment style, you would have to genuinely want to connect with other people. The disorganized do want to connect with others. They just don't have the tools to do it appropriately. Often the avoidants really don't. You're happy in your hermit mode. If you are avoidant, you don't necessarily have to change your attachment style. Just be aware of how you are being perceived. And what about the secure attachment style? People who are securely attached are extremely rare. Again, they are in the minority. People with a secure attachment style exhibit real self-esteem. They are modest, humble, and respectful, open, curious, and friendly, and giving, responsive, and engaging. They know how to engage with everyone with respect and without judgment or fear because they feel safe inside their excellent boundaries. They may or may not be attractive, it doesn't matter. Their work is good, it's adequate, but they're not trying to overcompensate for anything. And people with a secure attachment style typically do not get bullied. I hope that helps. Take care.